Thanks very much for staying with us. Time now for Eye on Africa with me, Georgia Calvin-Smith. Tonight, lawyers for the victims of atrocities tell judges in the war crimes trial of Hissene Habre that the former Chadian dictator had the power of life and death over his citizens. Also, an Australian woman freed by extremists after 3 weeks in captivity says that she can't leave Burkina Faso until her husband, taken with her, is also let go. And Neso and thoughts of home. Malian star Rokia Traore speaks to France 24 about the uncomfortable inspiration behind her latest album. She says it's both a work of music and of activism aimed at raising awareness of the cost of instability in her homeland. First, lawyers for the victims of atrocities carried out during the reign of a former Chadian dictator told judges in Senegal on Monday that Hissene Habre had absolute power over the lives of his citizens. The closing arguments for the plaintiffs in his war crimes trial began on Monday. Investigators reckon that over 40,000 people were killed during his rule before he was toppled in 1990.
Hissene Habre had the power of life and death over his people. That's what a lawyer for victims said on Monday. The former Chadian president still refuses to address the court. He doesn't recognise its authority. Habre ruled Chad from 1982 to 1990. He's charged with war crimes, crimes against humanity and torture. Because he doesn't recognise the court, his lawyer is boycotting the trial.
We denounce irregularities, fabricated testimonies and reports. All this shows that this is not a fair trial.
That's why Habre has 3 court-appointed lawyers. There are around 100 plaintiffs, victims of the Habre regime. They denounce cases of torture, rape, sexual slavery and massacres.
Until now, it's been an exemplary trial. It's been transparent that the trial's been filmed. Everyone, especially in Chad, can follow it. People can make up their own minds about the evidence that's been given.
On Monday, lawyers for the victims compared the Habre regime to the Gestapo, the Nazis' political police. Later this week, his court-appointed lawyers will have the floor. The court should return its verdict in late May.
Now, the International Criminal Court has ordered a formal inquiry into a blunder that led to the unmasking of several protected witnesses in the war crimes trial of former Ivorian leader Laurent Gbagbo. The prosecutor in the case reportedly thought that microphones were off when he mentioned the names of people whose testimony was supposed to remain anonymous. Instead, the conversation was relayed live to the public gallery. Well, on Monday, the presiding judge issued a formal apology.
The chamber has ordered an accurate internal investigation in order to find out how this could have happened. And therefore, we don't know yet if the reason for this is recklessness, superficiality, stupidity, and I don't even want to speculate about something else.
So a very contrite judge there. In other news, Somali intelligence has released footage apparently showing airport workers in Mogadishu handing a suspected suicide bomber a laptop thought to contain a bomb. Now, the plane he boarded was later forced to make an emergency landing after a mid-air explosion ripped a metre-wide hole in the cabin and he was sucked out. The head of operator Dallo Airlines has said that the attack meant to target Turkish Airlines. The suspected bomber and other passengers had switched planes after Turkish Airlines cancelled its original flight from Mogadishu to Djibouti. On Monday, South African rescuers kept up the race against time to get to 3 gold mine workers trapped underground by a cave-in last Friday. The men were working on the surface when the cave-in sent the steel container that they were in plunging into a sinkhole. They were located when special audio equipment picked up sounds of life late Sunday. Since then, members of their families and loved ones have kept vigil. An Australian woman freed by Al-Qaeda after 3 weeks in captivity says that she can't leave Burkina Faso until her husband is also let go. Jocelyn and Ken Elliott were abducted from a town near Burkina Faso's border with Mali in mid-January.
Former Australian hostage Jocelyn Elliott finally returned to Burkina Faso 2 days after she was released in Niger. Her husband is still detained by a group linked to Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb. The couple are humanitarian workers who settled in Burkina Faso in 1972. Jocelyn Elliott said she didn't want to leave the country.
I want to thank the people of Burkina for their support during my absence. I want to be with my husband soon so that we can go back to Djibo and continue our work there.
Burkina Faso President Roch Christian Kaboré thanked Niger for its role in the mediation but gave no details about the release. He also tried to reassure Jocelyn Elliott about the fate of her husband.
We still have work to do because Dr. Elliott has still not been released. But we are hopeful that this will happen in the coming days.
The couple was kidnapped on the 15th of January near the border with Niger by Iyad Aghali's men. He's a Tuareg rebel from Mali who's now close to Al-Qaeda. That same evening, there was an unprecedented jihadist attack in Ouagadougou that left 30 people dead.
Well, the Leopards have returned home feeling pretty proud of their spot. The Congolese national football squad touched down in Kinshasa on Monday, having taken the #1 title at the African Nations Championship in Kinshasa. Now, it's the second time that they've topped the tournament's tables. This time round, they emerged victorious after having beaten Mali 3-0 in the final in Kigali on Sunday. Well, Congolese fans who follow the team to Rwanda are still ecstatic about the title.
I'm really delighted. We earned this title. We worked hard to deserve this. It's our victory. It's a victory for every Congolese. I dedicate this win to the population in the eastern DRC because it has suffered a lot. This title dries our tears. I'm truly ecstatic.
I'm very happy with this win. We're going to celebrate in Goma, in Bukavu, all over the Democratic Republic of Congo. I think that no one will go to work because of this.
Well, congratulations, Leopards. Now, world-famous Malian singer Rokia Traore's new album is not just about the music. She's been telling France 24 that, entitled Neso, it's also a bid to raise awareness of the plight of those whose lives have been turned upside down by unrest in parts of Mali that has seen trouble over the last 5 years.
The daughter of a diplomat, Rokia Traore spent her childhood travelling around the world. These days, she's consumed by thoughts of her roots, and in particular, the volatile situation in her native Mali. 4 years ago, the country was plunged into a political crisis after a coup toppled the government.
En 2014, encore 5,500,000 personnes ont fui leur maison.
Neso, the title of Traore's 6th album, simply means home in her native Bambara. Working closely with the UN, the singers helped bring attention to the plight of those driven out of their lands by conflict, both in Mali and elsewhere around the world. She's also tackled her country's politicians head-on, challenging all sides to set a good example to help Mali build for the future.
We have never had so many refugees in the history of humanity. This is the first time. Is it also exceptional? Is it going to be the last time, or is it the beginning of something we're going to accept? I'm really with them. I'm really with them. I'm sorry.
Traore was able to call on musicians from across Western and Central Africa for help with this record, but also from further afield. There are cameos from Led Zeppelin's John Paul Jones and celebrated folk artist Devendra Banhart. And she's lending her talents to others too. The singer's Passerelle Foundation has been helping young Malian musicians prepare for careers in the industry for the past 7 years. The tour in support of Neso will take Traore away from her roots once again, with shows across Europe and in the United States, giving her another stage to spread awareness about refugees and the challenges faced by her beloved Mali.
Well, that's it for Eye on Africa. Stay with us, though. A short break. More coming up.